Hi, I'm Don.
I'm Kathleen. We're in Port Canaveral, getting ready to board that ship right there, Carnival Freedom.
We're going to do something a little bit different with this video. Rather than just show you another tour video of another Carnival ship, we're going to do Cruising 101. In this video, we're going to introduce you to how to go on a cruise from A to Z. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do get ready, get set, go, and finish in this video. You ready?
I'm ready.
Get ready.
If you are considering a cruise this year, you are certainly not alone. In 2018 alone, more than 14 million Americans took cruises, more than 30 million worldwide. Research has shown that of the 4% of Americans who will cruise, 90% are likely to cruise again. It's no wonder then that there are more than 300 cruise ships visiting more than 2,000 ports and literally thousands and thousands of cabins. Cruising is a big deal. Now, we admit up front that we are prejudiced when it comes to cruising. I am from Missouri and thought when I was young that cruising was just for rich people. Not so. But growing up, we went camping in Branson, drove to a theme park or a beach somewhere. Nothing wrong with that, but we missed out on something really good. Today, cruising offers a lot of vacation value that is worth consideration. Just for grins, make up a simple vacation budget comparing a car-based vacation with a cruise vacation. Be sure to include everything: gasoline, meals, snacks, hotels, entertainment, theme parks, even childcare. Also consider how much time you will be in the car just getting from place to place. The cruise usually wins out because all your meals, snacks, entertainment, everything is included, and the ship moves from destination to destination without you having to do anything. You move in, start enjoying your vacation. And today's cruise ships are destinations in themselves. What's next? Or perhaps the better question is, who's next? Should you book a cruise directly with the cruise line, or should you use a travel agent? It might surprise you that 75% of all cruises are booked through travel agents. Now, in full disclosure, I am a travel agent for Cruise Brothers, so you might think my answer will be biased because I'm a travel agent, but I assure you I'll give you an unbiased answer. I would rather have your friendship and your respect than your money. So, most of the time, especially for new cruisers, it is better to use a travel agent who is well versed in cruising. I didn't believe that in the beginning because I have a mistrust for salesmen, especially salesmen who are trying to make sure that I leave no money on the table. I also understand that advertising can be deceiving. Those beautiful advertisements promote a fantasy that isn't quite the same in reality. So, here are some good reasons to use a trustworthy travel agent. Number one, the services of a travel agent are free to you in most cases. It costs you nothing to use them. The cruise lines pay the travel agency a commission for the products they sell. Number two, a seasoned travel agent knows the marketplace and can make recommendation based on your needs and your budget. Not only are they trained extensively, but they experience it personally. At the time of this recording, Kathleen and I have cruised 14 times in the last 8 or 9 months. Number three, a travel agent has more access. Qualified agents have access to multiple streams of cruise information, offers, and choices that you may not discover on your own. Number four, travel agents can arrange or suggest other needs associated with your cruise, like air flights, transfers, pre-cruise hotels, excursions, car rentals, and on and on. Number five, travel agency groups. The largest travel agencies block out thousands of cabins as soon as the cruise lines make them available, often 2 years in advance of sailing. Doing so locks in the price even though the prices change based on market demand. If the price goes up, then the travel agency can save you money by booking you into one of their existing groups. It doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. And finally, your travel agent, this is number 6, will continue to service your booking from the beginning till your homecoming. If you need something, your agent is still your best advocate. You don't have to spend hours on hold with the cruise line. Even if you book your next cruise on board, your agent still is your contact as long as you want. So, if you decide to work with a travel agent, be open and honest and ask for the same thing. Let them know up front what you want and how you want to spend your hard-earned money. So, is there ever a time when you want to bypass a travel agent and book it yourself? I can think of maybe a few reasons, and I'm a travel agent. Number 1, you have control issues. I know that because I'm that way myself. Number 2, if you are a gambler. That said, the cruise lines make a lot of money from gambling and will reward cruisers with very low-cost cruises provided they promise to spend a lot of money in the casinos. Number 3, convenience. You may not be able to reach your travel agent in the middle of the night when the urge comes, but the cruise line's websites are always open. And number 4 is that you haven't found a good travel agent for your needs. If you're interested in a Caribbean cruise, I would love to help. And if I'm not the right person, I'll help you find the right person.
Part 2, get set.
In this section of the video, we'll talk about everything you need to know and do before your cruise, from COVID testing to what to pack.
Let's talk about passports versus birth certificates. A question I often get from new cruisers is, do I have to have a passport to cruise? The answer is unequivocally, maybe. If the cruise is leaving and returning to the same American port and only visiting the major cruise ports in the Caribbean, then a birth certificate along with a government-issued photo ID will suffice. That said, however, a passport is always better. Keep in mind that you may be able to cruise with your birth certificate, but you cannot fly to or from a foreign country without a passport. Unfortunately, passports are expensive. I think they're around $165 now, plus the cost of the photos, and it could take a couple of months to process, so plan accordingly. The good news is that a passport is valid for 10 years for adults or 5 years for minors. Next, once you have your booking information, set up your online account with the cruise line using your legal name and information and your booking number. The software will then begin tracking your cruise for you, provide a checklist of things you need to get done, and offer a variety of things you can add to your cruise for additional cost. This would also be a good time to download the smartphone app for your cruise line. You will need it frequently when you're on board, so you might as well go ahead and do it at that time. Booking airfare and hotels. If you are flying to your cruise port, you will need to book your flight with plenty of buffer time, just in case flights are late or your cruise is delayed. Also, it's always a good idea to spring for a hotel stay the night before your cruise in the city from which you depart. That will buffer the various transitions and allow you to board unstressed and rested. We recommend the same overnight stay if you're driving very far as well. On 2 separate occasions, we have experienced flat tires driving to the ports at the last minute. Not smart. Okay, when you're getting close to your cruise date, usually under a month, you can complete the online check-in. This process will require your vaccination information, passport information, usually a photo, who to contact in case of an emergency, and a credit card for on-board purchases. Cruise life is cashless. All spending on board is through your key card, which is linked to your onboard account, which is linked to that credit card. You will also choose an arrival time at the port. This will be a 30-minute time slot, either late in the morning or early in the afternoon, when you will be allowed to board the ship. When completed, you will be able to download and or print out your boarding pass, cruise contract, and your luggage tags. I strongly recommend having paper copies of your boarding passes, COVID test, and your cruise vaccination card. You will need them at the cruise terminal. Let's talk about packing. Most beginning cruisers tend to overpack. I know that because I have done it. Now, it's true the cruise lines still offer elegant evenings on sea days. You can dress up to the max if you want, but you don't have to. The dining rooms ask that you do not wear shorts and t-shirts to the dining room in the evenings. You can always eat in another venue if you don't want to dress up. Swimsuits are not allowed in the dining room or buffet. However, there are eating venues, and plenty of them, around the pools where any kind of attire is acceptable. Well, almost. So the packing scenario for most couples is 2 medium suitcases and 2 carry-on pieces. We like to take 1 hard-side suitcase and 1 folding garment bag for hang-ups. Kathleen vacillates between a backpack and a small suitcase with wheels for her carry-on, while I prefer to use a backpack so my hands can be free to handle the documents. I can then use the backpack in the ports. That means your carry-on should contain your medications, travel documents, phone charger, laptop, cameras, anything else that you might need before your luggage arrives, if it does arrive. A sidebar here. Always take several more days of your medications, just in case. This cruise aboard the Freedom is a good example. It was supposed to be a 5-day cruise, but it was extended to 7 days unexpectedly. Most cruise lines will allow you to take one 750 milliliter bottle of wine in your carry-on, or one 12-pack of non-alcoholic drinks in your carry-on per person. You are not allowed to bring devices that generate heat, such as curling irons and hair dryers, nor are you allowed to bring extension cords and power strips. Such items will be confiscated upon boarding and returned when you go home. If you need something like that on board, simply tell your cabin steward. Finally, keep in mind that the older ships may not have many AC outlets. Our cruise aboard the Freedom had one 120-volt outlet and one 220-volt outlet, and there were no USB ports. To keep all of our devices charged, I brought an AC-powered USB charger with 4 ports and a small adapter for plugging 120-volt devices into the 220-volt outlet. Newer ships will have multiple outlets and usually a lot of USB ports. Most ships also have laundromats, ironing rooms, and laundry services. All right, get busy. We have a cruise to catch.
Number 3, go.
In this section, we'll talk about your first day, embarkation, exploring the ship, where to eat, and everything like that. And we'll talk about the ports you're going to stop at and excursions. Here we go.
At last, it is time for your cruise to begin.
Yay! Yay!
Make sure your luggage has the tags you printed out during the online check-in, then drop them at the curb with a porter. I usually tip the porter a couple of dollars for each bag. If you drove to the port and plan to park in the terminal garage, You can drive up to the luggage drop-off, leave your luggage with the porter, then proceed to park your car, keeping your carry-on bags with you. If you have parked off-site, then your shuttle driver should drop your luggage off with the porters. Your checked bags will proceed through security before being transferred to your cabin later in the day. Next comes, well, often a little bit of chaos, while you and every other passenger attempt to get on board. Simply follow the directions of the port crew and enter at the time you chose during the online check-in. Sometimes this goes quickly, sometimes not, so be patient and courteous. The ship will not leave without you. You will be asked several times to show your documents, including your boarding pass, the negative COVID test, vaccination card, and passport or birth certificate with your photo ID. Sometimes they will give you your key cards right then. Sometimes you continue with your boarding pass and retrieve your key cards outside your cabin door. Many premium cruise lines have switched from key cards to some type of wireless transponder built into a medallion or a wristband or something like that. Okay, you now have been cleared to board and may proceed up the gangway and onto the ship. Welcome on board. Your cabin will probably not be ready until after 1 p.m., so you may explore the ship, you may jump in the pool, or, like most people, head directly to the buffet for some free lunch. The buffet, as well as the swimming pools, are located on top of the ship, so grab an elevator and head up to the Lido deck. There will be plenty of crew to assist you when you get on board. After lunch is a good time to take care of your muster station drill. Thanks to COVID, the muster is quick and painless nowadays, but you still have to do it before the ship can leave the port. The muster station is the place you would go in an emergency. Maritime law requires that all ships and passengers undergo a muster drill at the beginning of each cruise. So, your assigned muster station is printed on your key card or your boarding pass. Okay, now what? Well, we use this time to find our dining room as well. If you chose assigned dining time, then your table number and your restaurant will be printed on your key card. If you chose My Time Dining, then only your dining room will be printed on your key card, and you must make a reservation each time you go to the dining room using the app. This would be a good time to talk about your phone. By now, you should have loaded the app. The app will not work until you switch over to the ship's Wi-Fi system. You use the ship's Wi-Fi even if you don't have an internet package. You may continue to make calls while you're in port, but as soon as the ship starts moving out of port, put your phone into airplane mode. Let's assume that your cabin is still not ready. So, this would be a good time to explore the ship. Most cruise ships are laid out basically the same way. The swimming pools, the recreation decks, and the buffet are usually on top of the ship, sometimes called the Lido deck. The spa and the fitness center are also usually forward and high on the ship, but not always. The theater is usually located forward and lower on the ship, and extending aft from the theater is usually a promenade with a central atrium. This long sidewalk is often home to shops, dining and entertainment venues, and a variety of lounges, pubs, and a coffee shop, sometimes even a Starbucks for those who are Starbucks addicted. The service desk and the excursion desk are usually around here, but not always, and not far from the central atrium. Most of the remaining decks are filled with cabins, hundreds of them. The youth programs are also scattered around the ship, so ask a crew member or check a ship map. They're usually located near the elevators. Finally, it's time to find your cabin. I'll let Kathleen show you our cabin on the Carnival Freedom.
Let's see what's in here. First impressions, great. Come on in. We have 3 closets. Let me put my backpack away. Shelves. Nice mirror to see yourself getting ready. And in here, hang-ups. Here's your life jackets in case of an emergency. And then you have more hang-ups here. Right across is our bathroom. Ah, good size. It's basic. You've got toilet, shower, sink, and storage. Let's move on in. Let's see, come in, little hallway. Here is the refrigerator. Little area and a chair, which is nice. Drawers. Here's your hair dryer. TV right across from the bed. And what's in here? Ah, your safe. Looks like it runs on your key card, which I'll set down. So, a good sized room, nice sized bed, plenty of room.
Okay, it's time to talk about ports and excursions. A 3 to 4 night cruise may only have one port of call, while a 7-night cruise may stop 3 or 4 times. Most cruise ports in the Caribbean have been developed specifically for the cruise industry. In fact, there are a number of private islands in the Bahamas that are owned and operated by cruise lines just for their own ships. Today's ships hold thousands of passengers, and ports are often capable of accommodating several ships at once. That means there's thousands of passengers descending on a Caribbean island. To accommodate so many people, the cruise ports are large, many with features such as swimming pools and shops and restaurants. An excursion is an optional, organized outing that departs from one of those ports. Excursions include local tours, private beaches, swimming with the dolphins, swimming with the pigs, swimming with your family, watercraft, dune buggies, diving and snorkeling, and just about anything else you can imagine. Prices range from around $50 to well over $300. Excursions can be booked on your app, through the ship, or outside of the cruise port with a local vendor. The excursions provided by the ship are recommended because they have been carefully vetted and curated. They are safer, insured, and licensed. The best of all, if your excursion is late, the ship will wait for you. Keep that in mind that you're in a foreign country while on an excursion, so take proper identification and likewise be prepared to show proof of vaccination. Okay, go forth and enjoy your cruise.
Part 4, finishing up your cruise.
In this section, we'll talk about how to wind things up, your de-embarkation, and even getting back home and filling out the survey of your cruise. Here we go.
Disembarkation is the term used for getting off the ship in an orderly fashion. There are basically 2 ways. The first is to walk off the ship with your own luggage This is usually the first group off the ship, but you must be able to get yourself and all your stuff off the ship without any help. This is the method Kathleen and I use so we can get on the road early. The second method of disembarkation involves the crew handling your bags and you walking off at a designated time, usually between 8:30 and 10 o'clock a.m. Your cabin steward will provide luggage tags the day before, or tags will be made available somewhere on the ship. Pack your bags the night before and place them in the hallway. In the morning, get ready, enjoy breakfast, and wait for your group to be called. You then retrieve your luggage in the terminal and take them through customs. Both methods, whether you carry it off yourself or whether you have the crew take your baggage, both of them require you to go through customs. Some terminals use facial recognition software, but not all of them. Either way, have your passports ready. Finally, when you get home, the cruise line will likely send you a survey to complete. Do take time to provide honest feedback on that survey. It is not just a marketing ploy. It's how the crew gets recognition and how things get changed on a ship. And that's it. If we can help you book that first cruise, please contact us or your own trusty travel agent. If you haven't already done so, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell.